All right, all right, all right. We are back in action. I think this is the fourth time we've been live this week, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's
Three,
crazy.
three live streams, and of course the podcast, and five if you include, depending on when you cut the week off, you include the last week's podcast, or whatever. But good evening, everyone. Welcome to episode 21 of New York Football Talk. Of course, I'm not alone. Jared Valluzzi. What's the word, my boy?
Man, a lot to talk about, dude. Like, so much to talk about. Pretty crazy weekend. I definitely think some statements were made. So excited to get into it, man. Always
The,
pumped to be on this show.
the T is back. If you know, you know. The T is back from last year's, the first year. First time I have to break the T out because we have a lot to
Yeah,
go
man.
through. My God. We have a lot to go through. Listen, he should be on his way here. My man is using up a lot of his PTO. You know what I'm saying? Like we got. For sure.
We haven't even got to playoffs yet.
I know, right? So listen, but listen, you don't know where TYJ is gonna be at. That's what he always says to you, right? He said, yeah, you never know where TYJ is gonna pop up. I guess that applies to the podcast too. Yeah, that's my guy. He'll be here hopefully.
Yeah.
Jaden White in the chat using his emojis from
Yeah.
Eagle Queen's big win. We're gonna get into that. My guy Makai Negron had a great showing of himself on
Yeah,
Friday
nice
night.
touchdown, yeah.
Great showing of himself. We will get into that. Of course, the winner, Mr. Ty Sean Bent. Salute to you, my boy. Gonna get into it. 5-star, what's the word? Always making a great mixtape. It's in the mood to shout everybody out. My guy Rel, I seen you in the chat all weekend, man. Appreciate you. Oh man, Jared. Let's listen. We don't even have much time to waste. We guys get it. We gotta get
Yeah,
this going.
I was gonna say.
We really gotta
I was
get this
gonna go right into it.
going.
Yes,
Yo,
one day.
yes. Let's start with that. Actually, you
Oh,
already know I had to rep today. You already know. Listen, man. There's on.
yo, Mac, where's my shirt? Sorry to interrupt you.
That's hey, listen. If you gotta talk to Mac, yo, maybe I can pull him up here real quick. You can talk to Mac about that. But I'm rocking a Rising Stars Bowl game. Rising seniors. So to everyone who's a junior right now, make sure you tap into Mac, but don't message him yet. Message him later in the year. All right, don't flood Mac's DMs, man. I had to rep it. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's start getting into it because there's so much to go through. Of course, the $1,000 Sage Standout Student Section Scholarship is still up for grabs. One of the games of the week made a very, very strong statement for this scholarship this weekend. We'll touch on that. Which one of the games of the week really made an impression for this scholarship? My guy Christian Borhe in the chat was the word, my boy. But we're going to get into your game very shortly. Bought Dre out.
That's good.
Damn.
Well, you're right. Mac is slipping.
Am I a sellout? Am I a sellout? Damn, maybe I'm a sellout, Jared. What you think, man? Of course I'm a sellout, man. Let's talk about you gotta be a YouTube member. Listen, all right, I'm playing. No, but seriously, we reached
some great games. I mean,
we reached over 100 members for the first time. I can't tell you guys how grateful I am for that, man. It takes a lot to put on these games. In 12 hours, we were in 3 different stadiums. We started at 100 Luton. I took a little nap, woke up, drove over to Sheephead Bay, did that game. If you've ever been on the roof of Sheephead Bay, it ain't easy bringing all that stuff up there and down there. You know what I'm saying? And then we went over to Canarsie Field for Transit versus Eagle 3. So listen, for the price of $6.99, you guys have already gotten 3 games if you include the JFK versus Fort Hamilton game from earlier in October. This weekend, and I actually do want to get into that. We're not going to get into the full preview, but as of now, I usually don't do this, but this game, currently as it stands, this game will be a member-only stream. I'm in talks to hopefully get this to be open to everyone. But just putting it out there, if there's anyone who's interested in sponsoring arguably one of the games of the year historically, I can't think of E. Hall Curtis historically, if you want to say recent PSAL history, is, one of the top tier games. So right now it's going to be member only. Working on it not being member only. Where did that just come from? You just hear that? Like all of a sudden, like my phone.
Funny, man.
My phone. I just heard two of my voices. Go ahead, Jared.
No, I was gonna say, like, I don't know, man. You look across, all of New York football. This really makes a strong argument to be game of the week in the state. And honestly, maybe even tri-state area. I gotta familiarize myself with Jersey, but E. Hall Curtis doesn't get much better. Yeah, man, I'm pumped. We got Zaire, Delhi in the chats. That's good stuff.
Absolutely. So it's funny that you bring that up. So again, thank you for 100 members. Again, looking for a sponsor for the Erasmus Hall versus Curtis game. And it's funny that you bring up, games, biggest games in the tri-state area, because yes, we mainly cover the PSAL on this channel.
Oh,
it would be an absolute crime. I would have to change the name of this podcast. I couldn't dare show my face and call myself the host of New York Football Talk if we did not open up Monsenior Farrell 28-21 on the road against the number one team in New York State, Iona Prep. If I'm not mistaken, Jared, were they ranked nationally? Did they get on the top 100 or something like that?
Iona was definitely in the high school football America top 300. I don't know exactly where they were, but they were high up. That's for sure. Iona's resume spoke for itself going into this game. It was impressive. They had a lot of big wins. And yeah, they had a lot of respect. They're the defending state champs, the amount of D1 talent they have, guys that will most likely end up playing Power 4 football. They have a couple of those for sure. It's a great, great team, man. But those boys from Staten Island, what a statement.
Listen, really?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. No, it's just like, I'm still in a little bit of shock right now. Oh, we got CJ Mailspin in the chat.
That's why I wanted to say, CJ is
one of the best old linemen in the state right there.
One of the best old linemen in the state. Huge supporter of the podcast. I always see you with the podcast. We have given Iona love on the podcast before, so now we're not just like, oh, let's hop on the train. Iona lost. Like, we haven't shown you guys love. So hopefully you understand that. But Jared, listen. Take the wheel, man, on this one, man.
Whew. All right. I want one of the biggest storylines from this game, man. Because I've been covering the Catholic League for a while. Iona Prep going into this game, they're obviously the favorite. They're defending state champs. It's at home on a Friday night. For two sophomores, a sophomore QB and a sophomore wide receiver, they happen to be brothers, Bryce and Braxton Moy, what they were able to do in that game, taking down a team, having that performance, taking down a team like that in Iona Prep, it's special. And you're telling me that the Catholic League has to deal with them for another 2 more seasons after this? It's insane. But it was an overall team victory for Farrell. The fact that they were able to, compete and do well up front against those big linemen on both sides of the ball for Iona Prep is extremely impressive. At the big number for me as well, Iona 21 points, man. They only had 7 points in the fourth quarter. This Farrell defense was incredible. And okay, someone just mentioned Alpha Ba's name in the chat. This is a great story because Alpha Ba, as a freshman, this is a good point, was very good on varsity as a freshman, bright future. A lot of people forgot about him last season because he got hurt. He was out for a while. And to come back his junior year, have a big impact on defense. He was great. And yeah, it was a lot of great players on defense. And the Lions were able to get it done, man. It was 28-7 at one point for Farrell. So a lot of credit. They also had two young guys in the secondary that made a lot of plays. Vento had a bunch of tackles and just overall very impressive stuff.
Yeah, so I got the. Oh, go ahead, Jared.
Oh no, and one last thing, Farrell, clear track to being the 1 seed. Big shout out to them in that, because I don't know if there's Farrell people in the chat right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's been over like 20 years since they've secured the 1 seed in the AAA playoffs. It had to be something like that.
It has to be over 20 years. I mean, I was in the league.
Right? It had to be.
Damn, hold on.
To secure the 1 seed, they still have business to take care of, but it looks like they're going to take care of it. For them to be the 1 seed and do this, it's pretty crazy.
Sorry, I just kind of had a moment that like this is getting close to 20 years since I was in high school. So like there, I was like, oh yeah, like I was there pretty much 20 years ago. Yeah, they weren't. That was a little crazy.
That's awesome.
Damn, listen, my back hurting. No, it's all right. Listen, man, I just want to give just a huge shout out to Monsenior Farrell, man. It's a program that I, since I've been doing, Sage Media, of course, I've been, you have to go where, you're wanted. So, being with the PSAL, mostly, but I've always had an eye on this program, especially, I am a Kellenberg alumni. Me and Jared were just talking offline, and, I remember, I think it was, Lyle, listen, you not far behind me though. So chill out. Yo, Kyle, Lyle, did you just see like the moment I just had where he was like, yeah, 20 years ago? I was like, oh yeah, of course. I mean, I was there.
You're like definitely over 20 years. That's good stuff.
The number 1 seed when I was my senior year in 2009, 2010 was actually Holy Trinity. Fun fact. They were undefeated. Well, I don't know if Holy Trinity or St. Anthony's were number 1 seed because I think they were both undefeated.
He was a great team that year.
Yeah, Anthony Brunetti. Shout out to him, man. Anyway, getting back to Monsenior Farrell, it's a program I definitely have kept my eyes on, especially after they built that new athletic facility. For sure, beautiful athletic facility. You should definitely go follow Monsenior Farrell on Instagram if you guys aren't already. They do a great job, filming the workouts they do. And if you guys look at the stories, who watches your stories, you'll see Sage Media in there all the time. Like I eat all that stuff up, seeing the kids working out in the summer and stuff like that. It's relentless, and they have 80 people in there working out all summer, all winter. And it's something that I've been watching, especially so as a Kellenberg alumni. I might be getting the years mixed up, but I think it was 2022. Mm-hmm. Monsenior Farrell traveled to Uniondale, New York, and Long Island at Mitchell Field. Devin Page was the quarterback of Kellenberg. He's now at Cornell. If you remember the Page brothers, I think it was Devin and Dylan were the two brothers there. And Kellenberg was able to get a convincing win over Monsenior Farrell. I think it was a 2 touchdown win, maybe 3 touchdown win. And I remember I was watching, like, wow, I don't think I ever thought I'd see Kellenberg beat Monsenior Farrell. This is, a perennial powerhouse in the AAA for literally as long as I've been around. I've been around since 2006. And I've seen many of old videos with, Farrell and St. Anthony's going at each other in Hofstra and all that kind of stuff. So it's a program I've definitely had my eyes on forever. And, Kellenberg beat on Farrell that day, and let's say it was 2022. And I think that was like the first year they got that new facility in that weight room. And then, if I'm not mistaken, again, I could be mixing up my years, but the next year they went to St. Anthony's and beat St. Anthony's on the road.
Yeah.
Was
No,
that
you're
last
right.
year? Or that was 2 years ago, right?
Nah, so it was 2 years
was 2
ago
years.
after
Okay.
they went like 3-7. They turn it around, go to the defending state champs and beat them on the road. Pretty common theme now. But
And and I love how you bring context into it, because yes, like St. Anthony's coming off of wiping the floor with Iona Prep
yeah,
in the championship game.
with KJ Duff, who's now a stud at Rutgers. Like,
I don't remember. I guess Ian was already there, but those two guys are going to the NFL. That's not a secret.
Crazy to think about it.
Yeah, you know, the quarterback was great. What was the quarterback's name? Excuse me.
Dante Torres, man.
Dante Torres.
Phenomenal.
I mean, they couldn't lay a hand on him. Now, and if I'm not mistaken, yeah, I think Merrill was already playing. Now, Merrill wasn't Gary Merrill, if you guys are, if you know what I'm talking about. Pretty sure he was already the new quarterback for St. Anthony's. And again, I understand that it was his first year starting, and you know, I think it was the next year where he really became Gary Merrill. I don't, if I'm mixing this up.
I don't know. He had a pretty great junior year.
Yeah, he did, right? Okay. So he did have a really
he had a good junior year.
So yeah, Farrell went there and beat that team on the road. Why am I saying all this? I'm saying all of this to set the stage of what happened on Friday night. What happened on Friday night was not an accident. What happened on Friday night is not, oh, you caught Iona Prep on a bad day, right? That is a culmination of a program earning that kind of night. And I really hope everyone across New York State watches that. You know, like there are so many teams where you say, oh, I swear every time I open this laptop up, people are asking me about the balance of this league and the balance of that league and the balance, is it balanced? Everyone always asks me that. Monsenior Farrell was in, let's call it the purgatory. You know, they're fourth, they're fifth, some years they're third, they're fourth, they're fifth, some years they're third. And they break through because of a commitment to being excellent. And a commitment that doesn't just start in the fall. You know, they had to take their lumps and everything like that. And look at what they did. Of course, the job is not done. You know, it's only one win. But this is not even remotely what anyone saw coming. Remotely. There is not a universe I thought Iona Prep was going to lose this year.
Yeah.
Jared, what did you think? I mean, come on.
I was going to say, listen, I know the Farrell guys, obviously they believe in themselves and they thought they were going to this game. We're talking about just like a regular person, especially people that pay attention to this league. Regular season, like, especially Iona Prep at home in the regular season, no one had Farrell beating them. No one had them losing, honestly, a regular season game. Everyone had them winning the championship. And it's crazy because everyone loves to argue about rankings. But one thing that I said, every list you looked at, no matter who did it, Iona Prep was number 1 in New York. Like, it was consensus. Usually it's like, oh, like, who do we have? No, like, everyone was like, okay, it's Iona Prep and everybody else. And that said a lot. And especially with what they did to Paramus, a Catholic, who's a super football conference team in New Jersey, them putting up 58 on them. It's pretty crazy. And we saw though this past weekend. And now the playoff picture, it just gets super interesting because, you know, getting that 1 seed is so important to, you know, clinch home field and avoid the second and third best team, obviously. And in the Catholic League, I definitely think that that holds weight a ton. So it's huge.
No, listen, in the PSAL as well, like, you know, that 1 seed is so important. That 2-3 matchup,
it's tough, man.
I mean, it is tough. I mean, you can it's I don't want to call it a coin flip, but in most leagues, the number 2 and the number 3 team are so close to each other. Like the one and the 4, there can be a gap between the 1 and the 4, but the 2 and the 3 is usually a coin flip in most leagues.
Last year, St. Anthony's and Cardinal Hayes, they played a war in the 2-3 game.
Yeah,
it was crazy. Whereas, and listen, Chaminade played Iona tough, but a little bit of a gap there, in my opinion. So Iona was able to handle them. But all in all, though, looking at Monsenior Farrell, just a big congratulations to them. Coach Rocco does a phenomenal job. And Staten Island football, man, it's so crazy because this is the first time that I've looked at it where, all right, you have first place team in the AAA division. You have technically the first and second place teams in the PSAL 4A right now, technically. Catholic League AA, I know it's kind of all over the place, but St. Peter's has 2 AAA victories under their belt.
They just beat Cardinal Hayes, correct?
St. Peter's just beat Cardinal Hayes. You could kind of put them as the favorite, right? They beat Hayes and Chumley. You kind of put them as the favorite right now in the AA1. So it's like AA1, AAA, PSAL 4A, 3 incredible divisions. Staten Island teams are on top of it right now. I don't remember the last time that happening.
Shout out to Petrides.
And Petrides in the 1A. 4 divisions right there, man. It's like that's a lot, especially you're talking about Farrell in the AAA. So
no, you're absolutely right. I came on here last year and I said, I think that Staten Island could be the best division, the best borough when it comes to football, honestly. And
have a special year.
So I got a lot of bumps and bruises from that. Hey, all I'm saying is maybe I do what I was talking about. I don't know. But it's not right. I want to give all the flowers and recognition in the world to one player. I know it's a team thing, but one player on Monsenior Farrell and a group on Monsenior Farrell. So first of all, I'm actually going to start with the group, and it's the trenches for Monsenior Farrell. The offensive line and defensive line for Monsenior Farrell were absolutely incredible in this game. When you just use that's why it's important to, use your eyes and watch football games. I know there's a lot of talented people who make graphics and all that, and you can put your opinion, but watch football games, right? If you just use your eyes and look at the offensive line for Iona Prep and the defensive line of Monsenior Farrell standing next to each other, you're like, there's no shot in hell. There's no shot in hell. And then the play starts, and they're sticking it to him. That line of scrimmage is not moving. I'm watching this. I'm like, what's going on? How is this happening? That defensive line was so tough. And offensive line, they were doing their thing too. They were pushing them around. Mr. Grum, he had a touchdown to make it 21-7, and he got touched. The first time he got touched was he was like 10 yards down the field.
Big lane. Yeah.
He made one cut. All right, he made one cut. You're a running back. You make a cut. And he barely got touched. So huge shout out to the big boys for Farrell. I lied. There's another unit I'm going to give a huge, huge shout out to. And it's their secondary, man. If you watch that game,
that was a big
surprise. Their secondary came up and tackled so well. And the coverage they had in that game, if you've ever, how do I describe it? This is one of the reasons why I'm so negative. If you guys watch the show, I'm so negative against flag football. I know there are benefits for flag football, but the main thing with flag football is there is no threat to run the ball for real. And of course, there's no threat to get hurt for the most part, right? But there's no threat to run the ball. So as a secondary player, like, it is so much harder to have to think like, okay, like, am I covering this guy? Am I coming up and making a tackle? And now you're throwing in a Division I athlete at quarterback with weapons all over the field, with a Division I running back and Crew Davis is not a small person. I've never seen him in person. That was one of the first games I watched fully of Iona. I'm like, yo, this kid is solid, right?
Yeah, strong kid.
Most of those D-backs for Farrell were, I don't know their height, but they look like they're about 165 to 180 pounds. Crew Davis is probably 200 pounds. And the way they were filling lanes, they were coming up, making tackles, and now we're talking about having to cover the RPO that Iona Prep runs so well, flying up the field, making plays. You're talking about the quarterback who can scramble. So you have to make a decision. Oh, do I stay on the receiver? Do I come up and make a tackle? Let me make sure I get this right from my notes. So first of all, to start the game, the defense gets 2 stops to turn the ball over. So 2 4th downs, they stop them, which was incredible. And then at the end of the half, the score 7-7. Iona Prep is driving down the field, right? They're on about, let's say, the 15-yard line. Quarterback takes the ball, looking, he scrambles, and the secondary stayed on their assignment for as long as they could, flew up the field, made a tackle. He didn't get the first down, so the clock didn't stop. Pretty sure that there were no timeouts, so I think he had to spike the ball, if I'm not mistaken. They go for a field goal, wide left. Now they have all that momentum. It's still 7-7 going into halftime. And then they come out in that third quarter. They were just incredible. Farrell was incredible out of halftime. Well, they were incredible all night, but they were incredible out of halftime. And the last person I want to give a huge shout out to is sophomore Bryce Moy, man.
It's a gamer, man.
Gamer.
Yeah.
Just incredible composure, incredible improvisation. You know, you talk about, pretty sure it was I don't exactly remember the down and distance, but you know, if I'm not mistaken, one of the touchdowns, it was 4th down. Sorry if I don't have that exactly correct. I think it was 14-7 or 7-7. He scrambles, rolls to the left, comes back to the right. He holds it. He's holding on the line of scrimmage. Throws, finds his man in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. Do I still sound okay, Jared, by the way?
Yeah, you sound good, man.
And I saw myself lagging a bit. So improvises, makes that touchdown. It's a 4th down. It's a 4th down. They're up 21-7. 4th down and 5. They decide to go for it because they want to be aggressive. They don't want to give Iona Prep the momentum. 4th and 5. Bryce Moy scrambles, finds a man, long gain to keep the drive going. Throws the touchdown later in that drive, makes it 28-7. It's just an incredible performance. Just like Jared was saying, he's only a sophomore. How about you talk about this player, man? I know this is a player you've covered.
Yeah, I mean, and in this game too, I think the stats, he went 15 for 20. Yeah, pretty darn efficient. And having his brother Braxton, who's also a sophomore, have over 100 yards receiving, it's game changing, including that touchdown that you were talking about where he, scrambled and, got to the right and ended up finding him in the end zone. It's just so impressive. But I think, what we saw from Moy earlier, like he had some impressive games. He was good, against CBA Albany and against St. Anthony's. But this was a game where you're just like, all right, this is real deal stuff. And it's no disrespect to CBA or St. Anthony's. Like, he still played well in those games, and those are great teams. But on this stage, to do it against the defending champs, it's really impressive. And how comfortable he was, and how poised he was, and the ability to make plays. There's also like a 4th down that set up their last touchdown where he looked like he was going to run initially and then ends up like realizing like he cuts back and then able to find a wide receiver. And I was like, man, like not being able to panic, being able to be an athlete and make that play. It was huge, and it led to that touchdown. If they don't score that touchdown there, I think it was fourth down. Who knows what happens? Iona gets good field position. Maybe they score, make it 21-14.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's pretty crazy. That was a very clutch play by him. Yeah, but shout out to the Lions.
Clutch play, gutsy call to go for it, understanding the moment. Like, listen, like, let's not play defensive. Like, let's kill it now. Like, let's kill it now. Let's kill it with our best guys on the field. So shout out to Coach Rocco, whoever made that call. I know Coach Rocco is the head coach. So huge shout out to them. Huge shout out to Staten Island, and Mr. Guzman, quarterback right on the prep. I mean, he is a player that like I said, he's the real deal. And, going Division I for baseball. And something I say to players a lot, I'm like, listen, if you are who you think you are, like, show me. You know what I'm saying? And Bryce Moore said, yo, this is who I think I am. I think I'm as good as this guy. I think my team is as good as Iona Prep. So I'm going to show you guys this. Watch this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, man, Bryce Moore, you are who we think you are. And you're an incredible player. Now it's it's all eyes on these two teams now. Is it another crash course in the championship?
Well,
from
I wouldn't just go there. You put me on full screen. All right, we're talking about the Catholic League. There's also another game this weekend.
Ooh, talk that.
Saturday, St. Anthony's travel to Mineola to take on Chaminade. And final score was 33-19. St. Anthony's was up by 30 in the fourth quarter. And sophomore quarterback Anthony Dieso for the Friars, 15 of 16 passing, had 158 yards, 3 touchdowns through the air, added another 93 yards on the ground. He is playing his best football, and so is this entire Friars team, as they got a dominant road victory. And if we go back a couple weeks ago, Farrell got the win in South Huntington, but St. Anthony should have won that game. They missed. Listen, they missed. And listen, we gave Farrell a lot of love. Farrell won the game. St. Anthony's didn't execute at the end. Farrell won 100%. But with what I saw from the Friars, man, I know everyone's saying Farrell's the best team in the state. And yeah, right now, I think they deserve to be ranked number 1. Everyone's like, oh, Iona's right there. I know people don't count out the Friars. I'm just making sure they remember. St. Anthony's is right there, man. I got them as the 3. They're right there. So it's going to be really interesting. Not a crash course to the championship, that's for sure. It's going to be close.
Yo, man, I love that. Listen, News Day, Jared, that's moving different. I like it, boy.
But,
Yo.
Oh, we got Ed.
Ed enters the chat.
Yo,
Ed, listen, we start off with the Catholic League, baby. New York football talk, not PSAL football talk, my boy. Oh, man. No, so great. Like, listen, my favorite part of sports are semifinals. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but like the semifinals, I love the semifinals in all sports, man. So
Ed, I don't have a team. I do not have a team, Ed. Insane.
Yo, so listen, shout out to Monsenior Farrell.
Yeah,
the semifinals in the Catholic League is looking to, if it goes the way we think it's gonna go, it's going to be incredible. Iona Prep, listen, I still have you guys as the favorites personally. I don't think you deserve to be knocked off your pedestal for stubbing your toe. I still think it's the best roster in New York State. So let's see who I got in the semis. Who is the fourth best team right now? Is it the Chaminade lost?
Technically, well, it's weird because Chaminade beat Stepanak in the regular season, but now Chaminade had that loss to St. Peter's. Stepanak has rallied a couple wins, so it's going to be interesting.
So is the
how that goes. And Stepanak plays St. Anthony's this weekend.
Is the 4-5 right now Stepanak and Chaminade?
Right now, but if Stepanak upsets St. Anthony's, then things could be a little bit different. And that game is in White Plains. It is never easy winning at Stepanak.
Okay, interesting.
So it's gonna be an interesting game on Saturday. We'll see if I go to that game. I'm not 100% sure yet.
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay, St. Anthony, Stepanak. Okay. All right, guys. Shout out to Catholic League. So let's go over to the game of the week in the PSAL. 43-20 Tottenville over Abraham Lincoln. Ahmed, how you doing, my guy? Big win for APR. We will cover it. Yeah. We will cover the whole 3A in the next segment. So definitely stay tuned. Right. So I guess Jerry, you mind if I take this one first since I commentated this game?
I was gonna say you were at the game. You could take it first.
I literally commentated this game.
Yeah.
All right. All weekend I've been trying to figure out how to talk about this game. So first of all, let's talk about it from the Tottenville perspective first. And now that I'm seeing these rushing yards, I can't believe my eyes. I have to pause for a second, collect myself. All right. What if I told you Justin McGuire not only had more rushing attempts than Corey Brown, but had more rushing yards than Corey Brown? What if I told you, quick math, Justin McGuire was only 22 yards behind Tyshawn Bent?
It might even be less than that.
What if I told you Tyshawn rushed 20 times and Justin McGuire rushed 8 times? And he was only 22 yards behind Tyshawn Bent.
McGuire's having a year, man. Crazy. And listen, they're like, "Are we playing Lincoln? We're playing a good team." They let him air it out, and he went for over 200 yards again, like easily, right?
Listen, I didn't even get to that. So I just looked at those rushing numbers, could not believe my eyes. And that is the kind of the story of this game is this Tottenville offense is I will say it. This Tottenville offense could be peaking right now because this performance was incredible. This performance is what I've been waiting to see. I've been waiting to see a game where the running backs don't have it going on and Tottenville uses their hook instead of the jab. You know, I don't know what to call a Justin McGuire QB power. Is that a hook? Is that an uppercut? Is that one of those special punches from Fight Night? If you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? One of them specialty punches. I don't know what a Justin McGuire QB power is. I did not see this coming. You know, this offense is really running at a high efficiency. And speaking about efficiency, their third down conversion rate was definitely close to 80%. It was probably 80% on Friday night. And that is not because of the Lincoln defense being bad, because Lincoln defense is not bad. That front seven is tough as nails. The secondary has ballers. But when you have balance, when a team can't sell out on one thing, or when they decide to sell out, you can hurt them. It is just, it makes the game so tough. Nick Constantino. I've been talking about this player since last season. Again, you must watch football games, right? You watch this kid play football, you're like, wow, he runs really, really good routes. They got to get him more involved. They have to get this player more involved. I'm not saying they listen to me. I'm not taking the credit. But 7 catches for 146 yards and a touchdown. He could have had 251 of Justin's 251 yards if he really wanted to, because no one could guard him. No, not one player in a blue helmet and a white jersey could guard Nick Constantino that night. Nick described, his relationship with Justin McGuire is like one of the best quarterback wide receiver relationships he's ever had. Nick is a player who plays flag football. So he's played with a ton of different players, a ton of different quarterbacks. So him saying that really resonated with me, because I know even though he's young, he's a player with a lot of experience. And this is scary because this is where I'll bring you in, Jared. I mean, when was the last time you saw Tyshawn Bent for under 100 yards?
I was going to say, man, it's crazy because you look at Tottenville's recent success against Lincoln specifically, and it's the Tyshawn Bent show. And Corey Brown, some of these games. Like, Dre, me and you were talking about it. Tyshawn's numbers against Lincoln specifically going into the game were so crazy. He was averaging like well over 150 yards against Lincoln like throughout his career. I forget the exact number. I think he had over 800 career rushing yards just against Abraham Lincoln.
It's just insane.
It was actually ridiculous. So it's like, can Lincoln, find a way to stop him? And, he's obviously that type of success against a storied program like this, like as a freshman to senior. I don't know who else has done that recently. So shout out to him there. But yeah, 20 carries for 72 yards. You could say he was contained, especially for Tyshawn Bent standards with how, special he performs. Probably his lowest rushing total of the season, but Tottenville scored 43 points. Well, lowest rushing total on like that type of carries. But anyways, Tottenville still scored 43. They still have a ton of other weapons. And yeah, it's really impressive. And the fact that this pass game is, flowing the way it is, it's going to be tough to stop, man. And I think right now for Tottenville, Dre, I want to say they've put up over 40 points every PSAL game besides the E-Hall game where they scored 38. So yeah, it's no one's really found a true answer.
Yeah, and like I said, they're getting the tight end number 9, Anariba, involved. He had a long catch as well. Of course, you had
Tyshawn, I just said you had help. No, I'm just kidding. But you do. A lot of talent.
And I want to, and this is something I'm pretty sure I said on this platform, right, on the podcast. I was like, yo, this Lincoln team is kind of set up to contain Tyshawn and Corey, because number 75, Daniel Zephyr, a player I've been talking nonstop about. Number 63, Brian Marseille. Number 57, Ron Jones, favorite of the show. And number 13, Tunde Alston. They were all over. They were controlling that box. Zephyr and Marseille were so tough to move. They're taking, Tottenville got two people. You fight through one, fullback come at you, they pulling somebody, they fighting through it all and making these plays. I remember Tyshawn really breaking out. Maybe his longest run was 15 yards or something like that. And this is Tyshawn Bent. You know what I'm saying? So those guys just played so well, but
Yeah.
they could not contain Nick Constantino. They could not contain Nick Constantino. They could not contain Justin McGuire. Pretty sure Justin converted like a 3rd and 20. He ran for it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just tremendous job from Tottenville. Now, I do have a bit of concern that I thought about for Tottenville. And the question is, I even use the word peaking. They are peaking. Like, are they peaking or do they have more? Because the end of their season is relentless. I guess this is something we kind of overlooked because
it's a tough end, bro.
Yeah,
you're right, dude. I didn't really see it until I just noticed like how difficult these last 4 games were.
Yeah, like it's something that's like, it's Tottenville, right? So we don't really, it's Tottenville. They're going to be favored in these games. Well, we'll talk about the very last game.
Yeah, but you're favoring the other 2.
But you come off the bye week. It's Lincoln. You go on a road to a hot, high-powered offense in Eagle Academy.
We'll talk about that.
You go to a tough JFK team who played the defending champions very tough. And that team is going to be desperate.
Yeah, I was going to say they're playing for their life out there.
They're literally playing for their life. They lose that game, it's over for John F. Kennedy.
That's crazy, man, because wow.
Yes,
I think they're one of the best A teams in the PSAL.
That's exactly what I agree with you. I was going to say it later.
It's tough. I mean, listen, that's how it works. It's high school football. It's the PowerPoints, dude. I wish there was a selection committee. But there's not.
And then you play your rivals in Curtis in the last game of the season. So it is a tough end. And something I noticed that everyone noticed, Nick Constantino, Tyshawn Bent, Corey Brown, they have many things in common. You know what else they had in common? They all played defense on Friday night.
That's impressive, but it's a lot of snaps.
It's a lot of snaps. Shout out to those 3 players. Do it like those guys are like, listen, we will do whatever it takes for our team to win. I remember I have a picture of Tyshawn covering Lyric Samuel in the semifinal.
Yeah, man, that was crazy.
I remember taking a picture. I'm like, what are you doing here? Like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, listen, like I love this.
That's true. I was just gonna say it.
Iron sharpens iron, and listen, Curtis essentially did this last year. If I just take a quick peek at Curtis's schedule from last season, let me see the stretch run of theirs. All right. So listen to this. So Curtis played Erasmus Hall on the road, JFK, who they handled, Lincoln, Port Richmond, Tottenville last year.
Well,
I'm sorry. I still think Tottenville's end of the season is still
no. It's not even close. Tougher. I mean, last year was a way different Port Richmond team than this year. No, not trying to discredit them, but it is the truth. They're a better football team here.
So it's a tough end of the season for Tottenville. So it's something that we do need to watch, and it's like that's what's so beautiful and so tough about high school football and college football. Let's say they say every week matters.
Yeah,
you lose one game, all of a sudden you guys see the Dutchman again in the first round of the playoffs in the semifinals. So that's what's on the line. It's like you do all this work all year long, and you're still what did Thanos say? Like all them decisions and where did it bring you back to? You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say it's so crazy to the point where if they go undefeated and then lose that last game, I don't know how it works, but like there's a world where they could be the 3 seed and they're on the road in the semifinals. Like, that's unreal, man. That's unreal.
So it's like, listen, Tottenville has been the most impressive team in the PSAL to this point, but it's like this point doesn't win you anything. It's October 20th, so a lot of work for Tottenville to do. And to speak about Abraham Lincoln, first of all, you have anything else to say on Tottenville before I move to Abraham Lincoln?
Nah, I mean, consistently over 40 points per game, just impressive as usual.
When it comes to Abraham Lincoln, again, I was trying to figure out how to talk about this, but I will say that I hold the program to a very, very high standard. You know what I'm saying? A lot of history in that program. Coach Uzzi is such a good coach. All those coaches are so good. They've had so many good players. I think Lincoln, they need to be playing at a higher level of execution. These problems are continuing with the flags, with the bad turnovers. They're continuing. And I know Abraham Lincoln is a better team than that. Not all is bad. I thought Makai Negron was great. I thought he was so good on Friday night. He took a jet sweep about, I think it was like a 35, 40 yards on a 2nd and long. I mean, the story of Abraham Lincoln's season, and maybe even last season, a 3rd and 15, they complete a 60-yard gain to number 16 Ortiz. It brings them 1st and goal on the 8-yard line. Shout out to my guy Constantine. If that's Dick Constantine, shout out to my boy in the chat, man. So they convert a 3rd and 15 for 60-yard games. Ortiz, very good player, number 16. Jerry, you ready for the sequence of events?
Yeah, let's go for it. Go.
A holding penalty. So I'm pretty sure they handed it off to Makai. He brought it down to the 2-yard line. But a holding penalty brings them back. An illegal formation. And then they fumble it.
Can't do that against Tottenville. You can't. You need a cat. You said the 2-yard line?
So Makai had yes,
There's
Makai
you need 6. Mm-hmm. You need 6, man. This team scores too much. They're too talented. And especially if you're at 100 Luton, man. Especially
so Lincoln has to play at a higher level of execution. There are too many flags, and there's too many like big mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think of almost in every single big game they had last year, they made a bunch of big mistakes. In the Curtis game, because again, as unfair as it sounds, because Lincoln has been beaten up on some teams. Not all has been bad for Abraham Lincoln, right? One of the best front sevens in the PSAL, 35 against JFK, 34 against Brooklyn Tech, 47 against DeWitt Clinton. But as unfair as it is, you guys have earned to be on the pedestal of you are judged harsher than others, You are judged how you play against Curtis, Arasmus Hall, and Tottenville. That's how you're judged. As unfair as it is, that just is what it is. You're Abraham Lincoln. You know what I'm saying? Against Curtis, you guys had them where you wanted them. You could not convert on crucial 3rd downs. The stalls the drive stalled out. Curtis eventually woke up and they were able to win the game. You come into this game with a great game plan. You stop the run for Tottenville. They have another gun, right? They have Nick Constantino. They have Justin McGuire. So they say, yo, it's a shootout. Y'all wanted to stop it from being a shootout, but you got a shootout at 100 Luton. What you got? And they did a great job driving down the field at the end of the first half to cut it close, but they didn't have much coming out of halftime. So Jared, your thoughts on Lincoln?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say because at halftime, I saw the score was close, man. They were competing, but in these types of games, and it sounds obvious, but you really need to find a way to get more stops. It's really tough because it's Tottenville, and they're really good, but with the pace that they're playing at, I don't know if Lincoln is getting 40 points like Tottenville gets 40 points. I just don't. If Lincoln beats Tottenville, I don't see it being 49-42. I think it's more 27-20. I think it's, in that world. So, we'll see. The turnovers is tough. The penalties is tough. Those are some of the things that's difficult. At least happened the first time. These teams might meet in the semifinals. That could happen. That's a world. But one thing I really want to talk about, though, is you're looking at the playoffs right now. There's a chance that Lincoln plays Eagle. Eagle scores the most points per game in the PSAL. Lincoln has a great defense, but will Lincoln be able to get enough stops? Because the last thing you want to do is get into a track meet with Eagle Academy. But that's far away. But that was just one thing I noticed where I'm like, all right, let's see. That could be interesting. Let's see what Lincoln's defense is made of, especially with how much Eagle will pass the ball.
No, it's interesting you say, because you say they need to get more stops. I personally, yes, I think the defense does need to get off the field. There's crucial third downs. You got to get off the field. But I do think that the offense kind of needs to sustain drives.
Right, move the chains. No, you're right. It's a good point.
Because Lincoln's defense, it was like, damn, we got to go do this again. You know what I'm saying? And Tottenville, and at that level, they just have this version of Tottenville just has so many different ways to hurt you. And if you just keep giving them the ball, it's gonna be really, really tough for anyone. Shout out to Flav in the chat.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
He said Eagle?
Yeah. Eagles offense?
So yeah, listen. It's so interesting because how the PowerPoints work, how the playoffs work, and stuff like that.
Makai, you might
know what you want, right?
You really might. I can see it.
Say Candyman 3 times.
Right at this rate, I really think it's going to be those teams, unless Southshore beats Eagle later in the season.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely talk about that.
Yeah, it's we'll talk about that for a really long time.
It's almost at the point Lincoln, yes, we had some criticism for Lincoln, but the sky isn't falling. No. The sky's not falling. You know what I'm saying? Just lock in. Like I said, the main thing is execution. The players, you guys can control the execution, right? So I can even give it as a Sage Media challenge is to play at a higher level of execution. OC going to give you the call, right? It's up to you to know it's on 2 and you don't go off sides. It's up to you to not hold. You know what I'm saying? OC can't help you with that. Once you know what I'm saying, he can put you in the right place, but OC can't have you play fundamental football. That is on you, the players. Mm-hmm. Ball security, that is on you. You know what I'm saying? So also want to give a huge shout out to Jaden Brooks. I thought Jaden Brooks again on offense. He is a real athlete, man. he's a real athlete. So it's
Dude, I said it in our group chat a while ago. I don't know if you
yeah.
remember that, but I was just like,
No, you called that out early. Yeah, you
I
did.
was like, can we see like Jaden Brooks a receiver? I'm like, this kid is such a good athlete. I was like, why not put him on offense? I was like, I feel like in certain spots it could be a factor, and been playing very well, man. It's been a great two-way player this season.
No, it's for real. So, anything else in this game?
Nah, I think we can move on.
All right. So, of course, we had, again, one of the benefits of being a member is that you get access to all the games. We were telling the whole storyline of the PSAL, and we had a monster matchup in the 3A division. It was a monster matchup, but it was one-sided.
It was very one-sided.
30. What are we not good enough for you, Makai? No, play. Listen, yeah, I'm sure life happens, you know what I'm saying? So we'll talk to E later in the week. 32-0. Mac told me this was 34-0. But
a couple different.
I don't know what the score was. You guys reported it on PSAL as 32-0. So
we'll go with that. Yeah.
We're gonna go with 32-0 Sharks. I've been talking a lot in this podcast. I guess it's a 2-man podcast. One of us got to talk, right? So, I mean, the Sharks were really, really good in this game, man. The first thing to say is definitely prayers to Naeem Cooper. It looks like he suffered a concussion. Really, that stuff is very, very, very serious. When the incident happened, he did not play the rest of the game. So shout out to the coaching staff. Shout out to the doctors for doing the right thing. He looked okay. He didn't have to go to the hospital or anything like that. He looked okay. He was on the sideline. He was chopping it up after the game and everything like that. So, prayers out to Coop. Make sure, hopefully everything's okay with you. For sure, these players' health and safety is always the first priority. First of all, but yeah, listen, Coop went out. I think it was in the second quarter. Maybe might have even been the first quarter actually, and Coop was on his way. I mean, 4 carries for 65 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was cooking on that opening drive. Where it's funny because I had a buddy at Newsday. Went to
the we met him. Was it Chris?
What? No, Jonathan.
John. Yeah, we were talking to him. Before the game.
Yeah, and he just texted me and goes, "Dude, you were right. Naeem Cooper's cooking right now." And I was like, "I told you, he's a stud." And then unfortunately, he was like, he got hurt, and I was like, that's unfortunate. And obviously, prayers to him that he feels better. But he was on when he had that rock, though, from what I heard, and yeah, definitely impressing people.
Yeah, he was on his way to having a great game, but I mean, it was clockwork for the Sharks offense. I mean, Coop went out, Ahmed Cisse came in. He had a big run. I think it was about 50 some odd yards. Brought it right to the doorstep. Jaden Brown punched it in. Jaden Brown had a pretty good day. Mikey had a pretty good day at quarterback as well. Huge shout out to Anthony Milan, number 5. It was a 3rd and 20. Mikey said, "And is down there somewhere." Threw it up to him. Made a big play conversion on a 3rd and 20. Few plays later, beautiful fingertip catch in the back of the end zone. Drags his feet for a touchdown. Really put the game away. Shout out to Jacob Reed, number 0. He was great on defense all over the field. Took a handoff about 50 some odd yards for a touchdown. And, on offense, Madison didn't have many answers to stop Sheephead Bay. And on defensively, I did think Madison were able to hurt Sheephead Bay, and that's really, really something to watch because I think Travis Leahy, I thought he was able to move the ball pretty well. That's number 5 for James Madison. They did have some success running, especially running up the middle. Of course, if you think ahead, if you think to that APR matchup, wherever that could be in the playoffs, you're like, you guys are having trouble stopping the run here. Could be a little tricky. Now, you might say, yo, Dre's being harsh. Like, if you look at the numbers, Travis Leahy, 14 rushes for 49 yards. Nothing too crazy. But from what I saw, I was like, hey, this James Madison offensive line is getting a good push. And, you got someone like Amari Britt in the middle of that defense. So, it's definitely something to watch in the matchup. If you think ahead to the APR matchup. So I thought Travis Leahy had a good performance, a good showing of himself. Another player that I was really, really impressed with was number 6, Gavin Pelzer. We spoke about him a few times on the podcast, and watching him, he was really, really good, man. Really, really liked seeing him in person. Let me see his receiving yards. Well, they have him for 2 for 28. He also was able to run the ball a bit. But yeah, James Madison, they had the ball. They were able to move the ball well in the first half, especially in that first quarter. They were able to get it into just on the edge of the red zone, and they kind of stalled out twice. I thought Ray Annual, I think he's a player that's the quarterback for James Madison. I think he's going to have a bright future in this league. James Madison is young. So as that team grows and hopefully they grow together, I do think Ray Annual has some talent, only a sophomore. So I'm really, really excited to watch that player and see how he develops. But it was, as the score indicates, it was all Sharks in this game.
Jared? It was, man. Yeah, it was. And it's interesting because when what Naeem was doing early on for him to get hurt, and Sheephead Bay still respond, play super well. It was impressive. Mikey Misla, really good QB. He made some good throws. And man, I've just been really impressed with Anthony Milan. You mentioned it earlier, but he's been very good. He made some great catches in this game. I think he's only a junior as well. Very good player. And dude, Jacob Reed has been every single week. I look at these Sheephead stats. I see, some of their film. Kid's all over the place, man. He is such a playmaker for Sheephead Bay. It's super entertaining. And yeah, man, the Sharks, they're rolling. I know they got a game this weekend. I'm really excited to see what they do against Stuyvesant on Halloween.
Oh, that's a good segue because I was about let's get into 3A talk, boy.
At the pier. Yeah. You're at the pier, Friday Night Lights, Halloween. That it looked like, I don't want to jinx it because look what happened with this matchup. It looks like it'll be undefeated versus undefeated, but you never know. You really never know. But it looks like it. And I don't know, man. It could get really interesting, that game. But I don't want to look too far ahead. But the Sharks keep rolling. Also, how about the Sheephead Bay defense, man? Another shutout for Sheephead Bay. They registered another shutout. I said this about APR. I'm not sure if anyone has scored points on the Sheephead Bay first string defense this season. I don't know. Also, big shout out to Big O, Octavius White, offensive lineman. Great kid, and he's a player, man. I think colleges are going to be very interested in him. And
Yeah, no, yeah, and I see this comment here.
it's a valid
Like,
point. That's a valid
yeah,
point.
no, you're absolutely valid,
Yeah,
and we know what's. Don't worry, we know what's going on, James Madison. Like, you guys are building something
a lot
great.
of sophomores.
A lot of really talented sophomores. Again, Taz wasn't even able to play in this game, so we know that James Madison is really cooking something up. So don't put, you never get too high, you never get too low. You know what I'm saying? My guy Dre, yeah, just like you said, I was going to say, Truman this week, you have to stay focused. You can't look too far ahead. I mean, that's Davidson game on Halloween, boy.
It's kind of a lot of hype around it. But you're right, it is Truman week, and they have Siobhan Richardson. If you guys don't come to tackle, he might run for a lot of yards. Like, that kid is a very, very talented player.
No, you're absolutely right. And, Stuyvesant still undefeated. Another team that's still undefeated is A. Philip Randolph, boy. 42-14 against Harry Truman. I'm seeing Truman scored 14 points in the fourth quarter.
It was 34-0 APR. It was all APR this game. It was. And they're just rolling. Don't get complicated. Oh, that's funny.
I said Ray Annual. It's Ray Neal. Excuse me. Oh my God, I said Ray Annual. It's Ray Neal. I got the pronunciation on that.
Right.
It's Ray Neal, so that's
we'll just go by Ray.
Yeah, it's my boy Ray. I like Ray.
Yeah, APR, man. Mentori, another big game. Manny Apoku. And yeah, just like that. Also, the APR starting defense hasn't been scored on yet, which is pretty crazy.
It's a team on a mission. If you guys paid close attention to what I was saying at the end of the Sheephead Bay game, I said that it looks like as of now, Sheephead Bay are the number one contenders. What does a contender mean? That means you are the challenger. No, you're. Yes.
You have APR as your number one.
You are chasing APR.
That's fair. I had APR as the 7th best team overall in the PSAL.
Yeah, you're chasing, like, when you go to the semifinal the year before, right? You earn the right to at least start on the top. You went to the semifinal. You had a great year. 2 teams move up. You and Truman are the 2 teams that I'm looking at, right? Truman, maybe they should be able to get into the playoffs still. I'll take a look at that in a minute, but they've taken some hard losses this season. But APRs, they are the favorites. Sheephead Bay, they look great. They come up from the 2-way, they make noise. But you still got to see the team that has been here. So last week, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, I challenged APR to say, hey, you guys are the favorites now, so all eyes are on you. It's hard to lead from the front. You guys did a good job of it this weekend, boy. I mean, Ahmed Torre, again, we talk about possible players of the year in the PSAL 3A. I got to do some quick maths, but I think Ahmed is leading that race right now. What do you think, Jared?
For the top player in the 3A?
Yeah. Manny's up there too, right?
Yeah, so Manny's playing really well. I know Sheep said it's been kind of balanced a little bit out there. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't totally know who would be the 3A MVP right now. I think it's still early.
Hold on 1 second. Don't tell me what to do.
Yo, just look at the stats, Dre. Just look at the stats, Dre.
Don't tell me what to do on my own damn show. No, I'll play with you, boy.
That's all.
Oh, no, it's having some fun, man. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Ahmed plays defense too, if I'm not mistaken. So
He does. He's a very good linebacker. Medtori has been excellent. But you know who's I gotta get these numbers.
No, from Stuyvesant. Is that what you're gonna say? Play from
Kind of a
Stuyvesant?
sleeper. You know
Yeah,
where
no,
I'm going?
44. Yeah. What's his name? Let me get his name. Let's
No,
see.
dude.
Who was number 44? Or you're talking about
Yeah.
Isaac Sprung?
Not even. I mean, he makes his own case because he's a very good player. But Aiden Bailey has also been sneaky good.
What team?
For Stuyvesant, Aiden Bailey.
Oh,
Yeah.
Stuyvesant.
Yeah. Aiden Bailey in 5 league games has almost 600 yards rushing and 6 touchdowns, and he's pretty good on defense. He has 2 interceptions. Like, this kid's good.
Young man, I was not familiar with your game.
He sneakily has, Aiden Bailey. He sneakily has like some very good games. Like, he played very well against Cardozo. Yeah, it's impressive. He had a big game against Truman as well. So it's like all of a sudden,
I need to go see his film because I watched Isaac's mixtape, not mixtape, his mid-season tape. I did not watch Aiden, so I need to
Isaac's a stud. Yeah. And but if Stuyvesant could take care of John Adams, which won't be easy, but if they can, then they're undefeated. And if Sheephead takes care of Truman, then it gets fun. And then we have a fun preview.
My God. Oh, man. The 31st. Oh, the 31st. Stuyvesant Sheephead. Man, that is a really, really exciting matchup. Hopefully it could be 2 undefeated teams. I do want to give another, as we're still on APR, honestly, I want to give another shout out to Mr. Zaire Jones.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What a game for him. 3 rushes, 63 yards, 3 catches, 117 yards, and 2 touchdowns. This kid is lightning, man. This kid can really move. So really, really impressed with him. Isaac Swazo, I see y'all talking about Isaac Swazo in the chat. Listen, he's been on our radar since last year. Isaac is just an incredible athlete. He's doing it on offense now. 2 catches, 51 yards, and a touchdown. Yeah, Isaac is just one of those players that, how do I describe it? Like, he's just so solid. It's like, sometimes I forget about him, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, oh, like Isaac is just solid, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had a pick this last week, though. Shout out to him.
Ooh, and he had a pick?
He had a pick, dude. He's playing really well. Also a nice shout out here, a team that's kind of coming back a little bit after being 1-2. John Jay with a statement win over Lane puts them at 3-2, and with power points, like I think it helps them. You know what I mean? Because I think they, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say they play a little bit of a tougher. Actually, they don't play a tougher schedule, but what?
No, I just said no disrespect.
Yeah, no disrespect. Their rating is just a little bit lower, but like, I mean, yeah, the PowerPoints are definitely coming in their favor a little bit. And yeah, John Jay's in the chat right now, man. 2 straight wins. You beat a Lane team that was riding high off of their victory, so that's huge. Efren Thompson, 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's a great performance right there. Drayshawn Peak throwing a touchdown, and Thompson also had a receiving touchdown for them. So some impressive stuff over there, John Jay, man.
Oh, somebody send me. I need to write this down. Yeah. I need to see. So I need to watch. So Efren Thompson.
He had a game, and John Jay's schedule, if you look at it, they might be 5-2 headed into their final game against Stuyvesant.
Okay, so I I need to watch Bailey from Stuyvesant and Efren Thomas from.
Oh yeah.
I need to watch their tapes.
No, definitely.
Again, you're two young men. I was not familiar with your game. Very, very impressive.
All right. Also, since we're talking about 3A, might as well just say this.
Yeah.
Midwood. Big win, man. Clap it up for them. I mean, if you look at it, it wasn't easy for them, man. They were struggling, especially offensively. They weren't scoring a ton of points outside of that game against Cardozo. They lost by a lot to APR. They weren't able to really do a ton offensively, but now you go against McKee, who had 3 wins, a good McKee team, and you beat them 21-20. That's huge, man. And they have a kid, Egypt Reeves. He had an incredible punt return for a touchdown, by the way, who has had a great season for them, dude. He is a really good athlete, plays all 3 phases of the game. And it was a big win for the Hornets.
Yo, huge shout out to the Hornets, getting their first PSAL win of the season. Y'all don't got no stats.
No. They got 2 now. They got 2.
Oh,
they just didn't update the PSAL website because they didn't put in the score or the stats, unfortunately. But the biggest win of the season, they didn't put it in.
Can y'all please update your stats for real? Just pay a kid in school credit or in American USD dollars to update the stats. Please. You got Jared Newsday scraping for stats.
Coach J, that's Midwood right there. I think so. Yeah. But yeah, Coach J, the stats. That's how I found out about the punt return, though, was from Coach J. But yeah, obviously it's all luck.
Yo, Jonathan David just became a member, man. Shout out to you, my boy. Really appreciate that.
I think that's Stuyvesant right there.
Oh, Stuyvesant in the building. Stuyvesant in the building.
Yeah, and because the cool thing with Midwood too going into this game, especially after they lost to McKee, after they lost to APR, I don't think anyone. Yeah, it was. I think it was 21-20.
Yeah, correct. I saw that. Yeah, it was 21-20.
You ask anyone who's winning McKee or Midwood, I think 98% of people were picking McKee in that game, like before him. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you, man.
So the fact that Midwood did that, huge win, and also they have an opportunity now. You have Madison, you have John Adams. If there was ever a time to make a push to get into the 3A playoffs, now's the time. You're going against a Madison team with 2 straight losses that's looking to bounce back, and then you have a winnable game against John Adams. You already pulled off 1 upset. I don't know. Things could get interesting, man. Hornets with some momentum.
Oh, I see you. Whoa. I see Utrecht at 2-3. Hold on. Did Utrecht win this weekend?
Utrecht? Oh, they played a thriller against Base.
42-36.
We're talking overtime, bro.
That's
We're talking OT. Another heartbreaking loss for Bayside. They had a tough one against John Jay at the beginning of the year, too.
Yo, so I'm happy I did that. No, huge shout out to Utrecht because that could really, really affect the playoffs if they make it because they have a higher rating than Sheephead Bay, so that would push Sheephead Bay even further down the playoffs. So
I was gonna say we're gonna have another show where we talk about all this. Sheephead Bay better be at least a 3 seed.
I don't know if they will, but Jared, I want to stop the show because we have an extremely, extremely important segment. Now, if you guys were fans on the show, shout out to my guy Jarrell in the chat for reminding me. We have a a new and maybe a unique segment on this show called Rate My Plate.
What?
Yo, they were
I didn't
talking
expect
a whole lot. Let me get a poll in the chat.
That's
Rate
unreal.
My Plate.
That's
The
crazy.
Sheephead Bay promised a spread at their homecoming. Listen, I might try to sway the chat. I also worked like 6 hours on an empty stomach. I thought this was valid.
This is not bad.
Yo, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me get the phone in the chat.
Ooh. Ooh. Wow.
It
Got a random classic stuff.
Rate My Plate, W or L. Simple as that. So listen, let me talk about it for a minute. So we got some fried fish. We got a nice sandwich, I think chicken cutlet, mozzarella. We have some jerk chicken under the white fish. We have some curry chicken, and we have an empanada. The empanada is under the sandwich. Empanada under the sandwich, pasta in the back. Had a water to wash it down.
Right there.
Had a water to wash it down. Had a white macadamian cookie.
Ooh.
This is a W play. Y'all hating
good, man.
Y'all
hating good. I think people are just. I think the fact that you said it was Sheephead Bay's plate, people were just like, nah.
Yo, y'all are hating. This is not a bad plate. Yo. Hold on a second.
In terms of look. In terms of look.
How is this? Yo, what do you want? You want us to lay out the plate and put like what are those little garments in the plate? It's homecoming at a high school. What you mean? What you mean in terms of looks? What does Thanksgiving look like? Do you put a garnish on your Thanksgiving plate, or you lap it up and you do the stance with your legs and have it in between sitting on your legs? You know what I'm saying? This is a W play. Yo, 62%. Nah, how many people have voted now? Shade in the chat. Hold on. Max said something.
A Margaret.
Yo, listen. I was starving. The line was long as hell. Shout out to my guy Mac. Hospitality, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 hospitality. All right.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Made sure I got my food after working. Like I said, you got to bring all the equipment up the stairs. You got to bring the equipment back down the stairs. Yo, this is a W. Yo, okay. You see now it's 53% L. How many people have voted so far? We need to get this closer. Oh no, we're not ending the poll. This is so funny. This is what New York football talk is really about. 45 votes on a plate of food. This is hilarious. We're just getting there. 53%.
Good stuff right there. Why?
Yo, so first of all, okay, so we will move on. But first of all, can we talk about the spread though? Chicken empanada. There's a beef empanada on here too. Curry chicken, jerk chicken, fried fish, deli sandwiches, and pasta? And dessert? Oh, wait, so Mark, so this is my fault, is what you're telling me? This is my fault. Wait, no, so it's Mac's fault because Mac set the plate up. So this. Nah, Jared, look at this.
No salad. That's crazy. No salad.
No
Out
salad?
of here.
That is what you said. All right. We're
Here's the
moving on.
greens. No.
All right. We will move. All right. So right now we will. Let's see. We have 48 votes. I'll leave the poll open. You guys can go back.
Let's just blame it on Mac. I'm down.
Yo,
I'm down for that.
Just blame it on Mac. This is my favorite segment of the show ever.
Wow.
The sandwich is the sandwich. Oh my god. Talk about this going off the rails, bro. This is
no.
Oh my god. I'm so sorry, Jared. This is hilarious to me.
No, dude.
This is
I love it, dude.
Absolutely.
I'm just jealous I wasn't there to get my own plate.
Oh, this
I would
is
love to have my
hysterical.
own plate.
All right, let's get focused again. I am actually crying real tears. Y'all are some haters. 56% L is a travesty. This is a good spread. This is a good spread.
Let's say it looks like good eats, man.
Oh my god, I am crying real tears, man. Oh god. How can I even get this back on the rails, man? I don't know. Shout out to Jarrell in the chat because I knew I wanted to do this. I told Mac I was gonna do this on two more plays of that is Sage Medical. I told Mac I was gonna do that, and I almost
Sage
forgot.
Medical's crazy.
I almost forgot to do it, but that will go down as the best segment in New York football talk history.
Yeah, it was fun. I had no idea where you were going with that either.
I also got this score wrong here. So excuse me for that. I don't know why I put a 0 there. So
they got 6, right?
Yeah. I'm not gonna disrespect it. So we can still talk about the food for a minute.
Yeah. No, see, we got it. We got you, Maximus.
Oh my god. Yeah. Maximus, my fault. Yeah, that was
31-6.
Yeah. I'm gonna update that. We're not gonna do that to them. Give me a second. It was 6, right?
Yeah, it was 6.
So
it was a Kyle McKay touchdown.
Yes, to be transparent after an incredible interception that we're going to talk about and return. Yeah, I make all of these at once, so sometimes I copy and paste is not my friend. Okay, did that. And this is also what's great about having multiple screens. I can do this so much faster. Right. That was the best segment in history. All right. 32-6 Eagle Queens over Transit Tech. Do not let this score deceive you, as this first half was very, very competitive. And I do want to start with the challengers with Transit Tech. First of all, the atmosphere at that homecoming.
Heard it was electric.
That is how you do homecoming. They had the band involved. They had the chants, the students. What was so beautiful, right? So let's say, let's go back to, the Sage Standout student section scholarship, right? It was all about, like the student section, having a student section, like college football going crazy or whatever, right? But watching the parents involved in the chants too, alongside the students, they were really involved in the game. They were really willing on Transit Tech. Huge shout out to them. They absolutely packed out the Canarsie. Well, let's say like if the whole entire stands weren't packed out, but they did a great job packing it out. And it really made it a great night. So huge shout out to the Transit Tech community. You guys are definitely contenders for this scholarship. If we get to the game again, I'm going to stick with Transit. I was so impressed with their physicality. I was so impressed on how they were flying around on defense in that first half. Really kind of stifled Eagle Queens to a certain extent. The game was a really sloppy game. It was a real sloppy game. There was a lot of, when I say sloppy, I mean there was a lot of penalties. So they really weren't able to. There was the flow. There's real no flow in this game. You know what I'm saying? Yo, shout out to Coach Warren in the chat, man. Really appreciate you.
He's the man.
Thanks for having me out, my guy. I really appreciate that.
A lot of love for both of those coaching staffs right there.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Yeah.
And the way this Transit Tech defense was flying around, like they had so much passion about them. Listen, man to man, they were outmanned by Eagle Queens team. You see that in the final score, of course, right? Transit Tech were only able to score after the long interception that brought it all the way to the 1 yard line. And if I'm pretty confident that was number 6 on the interception. Their stats aren't up here, but someone correct me if I'm wrong.
It was Tafari, right?
Let me just double check that real quick. If he is number 6. It was, yes, Tafari Cuffy.
That's a big
so Tafari Cuffy intercepts it. An electric return. I mean, you know, the crowd was going crazy on the return. He catches on the right. He goes across the field all the way to the left and all that. And it was hold on. I'm still stuck on the orange shark being what? Whatever. So huge shout out to Tafari Cuffy on that interception. Only a junior. I brought it down to the 1 yard line. That's where Transit were able to punch it in for their only score of the game and made it 8-6. Went into halftime at 8-6. And then, you know, the second half, again, man for man, Eagle Queens has the better athletes. So you would expect them to impose themselves on the game eventually. And they eventually did that. You know, I see him in the chat. Huge shout out to Jaden White. You know, this is what you came. These are the kind of nights. I think I said it to you during the interview, right? These are the kind of nights you came to Eagle Queens for, right?
Oh,
under the lights, top contender to knock you guys off your pedestal. And, you know, you go 11 carries, 175 yards, and 2 touchdowns. A long run of 55 yards. It's a really great performance. Excuse me. It was a really great performance from him. A player that is just so good, man, is number 55, Jalen Cobb. I mean, if you just watch Mr. Cobb's,
dude, he is so good.
If you just watch his film, again, watch football, please. If you just watch his film, man, Jalen Cobb is just a beast. He gets off the ball so well. Yeah, he gets off the ball so well. I see him in the chat. Shout out my boy. Very well spoken. You know, great job in the interview afterwards. And he was a menace. You know, playing offense, playing defense. It was a really great job. I want to give a shout out because Transit does have their defensive stats.
They do.
So Brian Harmon, number 5, with 9 tackles on the day. So huge shout out to you. That's a huge day. Oh, that's how you knew it was Tafari Cuppy. Okay, I see his interception now.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, Eagle Queens, they impose themselves on the ball game. Can we talk about the Eagle Academy linemen? Sure, let's talk about the Eagle Academy linemen. Transit Tech was doing a great job in the first half. They were holding it down, and as the game went on, you guys wore them out, as was a lot of people expected. Again, Jalen Cobb did a great job. I can't call everyone out on the offensive line, but I'm not trying to be rude, but I came out of this game really impressed with Transit. Like, Eagle Queens, this is what I expect of you. You're the number 1 seed. You're the defending champion. You unfortunately don't get you're going to get the flowers and the respect, but the championship is really what I'm looking at for you guys, because that's the standards you and the coaching staff has set. So, yes, you guys won the game. Congratulations for it. You guys did a great job against Jaden White and Mr. Muhammad. Oh, Darius Muhammad is a player that I'm really, really impressed with. He only had 2 catches.
Really impressive touchdown catch, though.
Exactly. Like, that's exactly what I was getting. He toe drag, and he's like a really impressive player, man. Like, I'm really excited to watch him grow. He is only a junior. So that's number 11, Darius White. Tore apart the 7-on-7 scene. And that also is a good shout out, because number 31 had an excellent high point interception. Justin Lockhart, huge shout out to him. I really, really like the interception. Like, I feel like a lot of times DBs kind of let the ball kind of fall to them too much. But again, I'm going to go back to Transit saying, this game almost went left extremely quickly, right? First drive of the game was a pick 6, Jared. Gets called back for a penalty.
Ooh, yeah.
Every play got called back for a penalty. All right, that's all I'll say. So,
Yo,
it was tough. Jared, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, man. So one thing I was really looking at with Eagle Queens, listen, obviously a lot of their games haven't been super competitive. So they didn't really need Jaden White to be the guy. They didn't really need to let him loose and give him a bunch of carries. Like, he was still playing well in those games, but bigger moment. Going against a Transit team, really up by 2 at the half. And Jaden White did his thing, man. Pretty impressive stats when you look at it. 175 yards and 2 touchdowns against a good Transit Tech team. That's huge. And Dre, with the way you're describing that atmosphere under the lights in Brooklyn, it's not easy. And Eagles showed how good of a team they were by going in, handling business, winning by 26 points. That's some impressive stuff, man. So huge shout out to Eagle Queens, but I also like what you were saying in the fact of how impressed you were with Transit Tech, and how tough they were all around that ball. But one cool thing with Eagle Queens, though, I'm happy you mentioned Jalen Cobb already. He's a stud. He's only a junior. You have that wide receiver, Muhammad, who's only a junior. Kassir Wright's just a sophomore. So it's like you have some guys where it's like, all right, they're kind of returning some studs. It's not like it's some crazy special senior class or anything. Well, sorry, it's not all the special senior class. But yeah, so they have guys coming back, which is cool, guys that are developing. So, that's pretty impressive. But I think one thing that we took from this, though, is Transit, not a team you can't mess with. And they're going to be back in the playoffs and things could get interesting.
Yeah, man. So let's just talk about the playoff picture a bit. And before we talk about the playoff picture in general, I want to give a huge shout out to Boys and Girls High School. 4-0. Did not update their stats, but if I remember correctly, I think the score was 22-6 over FDR.
Did they beat FDR?
Yes, they beat FDR. I think the score was 22-6, a late touchdown.
So Boys High is 5-0.
Boys High is 5-0. And I can't shout out any players because there are no stats
for the whole
PSAL.
Yo, wait. I'm looking at, dude, they haven't done it one time this season. You guys are 5-0. After last season, after a down year, you guys have come back 5-0. And from if 22-6, or okay, if the 6-point thing is right, if you held FDR, who has been running wild all season, to 6 points, come on, man, we need to shout out that defense. But we can't. And it's tough. So big win for boys and girls, but like, hey guys, if there's any boys and girls players in the chat, I hate to say it, but yeah, try to, tell someone, hey, can we get our stats up so we can get some love?
Yeah, man. I mean,
and right now,
and if I'm not mistaken, one player had 3 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? And I spoke with him on Friday, Saturday night. But I didn't remember his name. Sorry, I don't remember his name. But oh man, it's a bit crazy. So let's take a look at the 2A playoff.
Maybe it was. Actually, I mean, I'm probably just like guessing because there's some stuff. Actually, there's really not a lot on Newsday either. Maybe it was Alex Lopez. He's been supposedly good, and Bryce Moreno.
Your guess is as good as mine, man.
Like, I think.
All
dude,
right,
Coach Warren, that's a big shout out as well, because that's something that I've just noticed with you guys is how young you guys were last year. And it's like, whoa, now these kids are just sophomores, or these kids are just juniors, and they're playing well on that big stage. We know Transit's going to be back and better than ever, man.
But Coach, you're not low though. I see what you're doing here. You say, yo, PSL, do the right thing. Do the right thing. I see you,
they
Coach.
moved you guys up. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They moved you guys up.
No, he's talking about for the seating. You know what I'm saying? He said, I hope we get the seating right for all of the I see through you, Coach. Say it with your chest. Now play with you.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
No, yeah, really appreciate you guys, man. Again, I've heard I have a commentator voice. I think Jared really has a commentator voice, but I'm just kind of me, man. Trying to make it work out here. But I really appreciate you, man.
No, Dre, you really do, man. It's electric. But
appreciate that. Here's what's crazy. No, we're not.
Damn, I forgot about that.
I told you this is gonna be the longest.
I'm kidding, guys. It was a joke. Now let's talk 2A though.
We are not done at all. So,
yo, put Coach Warren's comment on the thing. It's good.
Talk about it. Yeah. All right. So let's see. So if I look at this, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So it pretty much looks like, barring something crazy happening, this is going to be the playoffs here. All right. So as it stands, we have Eagle at the 1 seed, Boys as the 2 seed, Bryant as the 3 seed, FDR as, wait, hold on. Is FDR 3-3? No, they're 3-2. Okay, they have that right. Okay, so 1 seed, 2 seed, 3 seed. Sorry, 1 seed, 2 seed. 3 seed is Bryant. The 4 seed is FDR. The 5 seed is Springfield Gardens. So right now, Transit is the 6 seed. Beach Channel is the 7. Campus Magnet is the 8. So as it stands now, Eagle and Transit could possibly see each other in the championship because they're on different sides of the bracket. Of course, William C. Bryan and boys and girls will have a lot to say about it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that is right now as it stands. Transit Tech. Those are tough playoff matchups. You know, William C. Bryant team and possibly boys and girls. So looks like you're gonna have to earn it, man. What do you think when you look at this, Jared?
Yo, it's really interesting. I'm pretty intrigued with William C. Bryant because when I look at Bryant, they're 4-1. They have one of the top quarterbacks in the 2A with Madi Kobisi. And when they played Eagle Academy, I mean, 2A guys, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure if he played against Eagle 3 in their lone loss because I look at the stats, his name wasn't under quarterback. They had someone else. And I'm not saying they would have beat Eagle 3, obviously, but like he didn't play in their lone loss. You look at the kid's stats this season, and Madi's doing really well.
Oh, okay, I see what you said in the chat.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. But like Dre, look at like his numbers are pretty good. And like passing, rushing.
Oh wow, the rushing too. Oh, I didn't see
That's
the
what I'm
rushing.
saying, dude. So he's pretty steady.
Wow.
He's scoring, and look, and that's only in 4 games. So he's 10 touchdowns in 4 games. Because remember, he didn't play in that Eagle 3 game.
Actually, let's see the stats. Yeah, so he's 5th in the division in rushing as the quarterback.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kyle McKay.
Yeah, Kyle McKay is really good.
And yeah, I mean, yeah, he's behind Devin by quite a bit. But you know, let's say if you add the rushing yards, I mean,
that's what I'm saying. He's pretty good.
Is great. Oh wow. So this could be one of those things where, you know, maybe William C. Bryant catch fire and really make a run to
Where it gets, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Where it could get interesting because they have a playmaker at the QB spot. So it's like, all right, let's see who they draw in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And maybe they make noise.
But Jared, can I show you something?
Let's see it. Yep. Wow, another big matchup this weekend.
Big matchup for Eagle Queens going back to Brooklyn. So let's see if they can get two wins in a row in Brooklyn, going to boys and girls in another battle of unbeatens. My God, Mr. Coach Pierre, I will definitely be giving you a phone call after the E-Hall game that I have to talk about. That we still have to talk about. Can you believe that?
Oh my God!
But I will say that we did the 3 and the 2A already. So,
yeah.
So at least there's that. But I just want to take a quick look at the 1A while we're here.
Oh yeah, yo, dude. I was gonna say there's 3 teams in the 1A, and honestly, East Harlem and Grady have actually both have been having like phenomenal seasons. The 1A is actually pretty interesting this year.
Long Island City, yeah, they're sitting there at 4-1 as well.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because a lot of the top teams haven't played each other yet, so it's like, whoa.
Yo, Thomas Jefferson 5-0, Patrides 5-0. We talked about that a bit. Lyle, we're getting back to the 4A in a minute.
We're almost there.
In a minute. Mount Haven, Patrides, Thomas Jefferson, huge shout out. I can
man.
13 unit. All right. Be easy now, right? Be easy. Patrides. Ooh, Patrides, Thomas Jefferson in 2 weeks. That's actually going to be very, very interesting.
It's a really good game. Probably both be undefeated.
Are y'all covering APR? No, we're not. Beatrice
Really
and
did.
Gerard is going to be a really good game. Having to go over the bridge, take on the Thomas Jefferson team. I'll definitely. I'm happy that I saw that now, so I'll keep my eyes on it. No, I was joking, but yeah, we covered the 3A. You can kind of rewind it if that's what you're interested in. So yeah, so shout out to the unbeaten. Shout outs to the 3 teams with 1 loss, and let's see how things turn out in the 1A division. We'll keep our eye on it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, let's talk about it though.
We're back to we're back to 4A talk. We're back to 4A talk, and we'll end
regular programming.
Stream back to regular programming. So, the most impactful game for the playoffs. Brooklyn Tech,
man. And this game was crazy.
On the road. They get on the bridge. Shout out to Coach Pugh.
Oh, man, what a win.
Yo, you know, like when, like, you know, all those memes when you apply for vacation, right? You send the email for vacation, but you're already on the plane. Like, that's what it feels like with E. I don't know if E got vacation days, but he on vacation. You know what I'm saying? Nah, shout out to E. But yeah, in all seriousness, Brooklyn Tech. This is something that we spoke about last week, right? I'm pretty sure it was last week. How we were like, yo, New Dorp and Brooklyn Tech is kind of an elimination game.
It's like a huge game, yeah.
And Brooklyn Tech get it done on the road.
Yeah.
Now Brooklyn Tech is sitting at 2-3, right? The rest of their schedule, what do I always say? 4 wins gets you into the playoffs. They play another gigantic game in Port Richmond next week at home. Canarsie. We know Canarsie is struggling. And then it could come down to a rematch of the 3A championship last year, Ford Hamilton and Brooklyn Tech, for them to get their 4th win. So, Jared, how about you start?
Yeah, I mean, all right. So for those who don't know, we're just looking at the final score. New Dorp was up 20-7 in this game. They're up 20-7, but Brooklyn Tech, they fall back. First off, I want to say there was 2 plays in this game that were just incredible from Brooklyn Tech. Cole Scanlon, while getting crushed in the pocket, delivered a bomb downfield right on the money to Ezra Jose. And then hit Caleb. They were around 20-7. He hit Caleb Fisher for a touchdown. They make it a 6-point game. I'm almost positive they got a fumble recovery. And then it was Scanlon back to Josie. One-handed snag to tie it.
Incredible.
Extra points good. Unreal stuff from Brooklyn Tech. I mean, this game was such a must-win for both teams. And really to go on the road Friday night like that and get it done. Yeah, gutsy win from BK Tech.
That's one of those where it's like, oh, you can just. That's what really makes you. These are the moments you really miss in football and sports in general. I'm just thinking like the bus ride home, man.
Dude, and especially like you look at Brooklyn Tech too after losing by 50 to Eagle 2, getting shut out by Lincoln, like you're getting beat up by some of the top 4A teams, and then you play Southshore tough, but you don't have enough. You're like, all right, like we're almost there. And then get that big comeback win against New Dorp. All of a sudden, you're looking like we can get in the playoffs here.
Yeah, man. And it's just, again, just huge shout out to Coach Pugh. You know, interviewed him in the, oh my God. I just looked at these stats. Shout out to Coach Pugh. You tell me Cole Scanlon dropped back 36 times in this bowl game?
It's interesting because, like, I mean, dude, I guess with how they've been playing, I guess they have to pass the ball, technically.
Yeah, I'll tell y'all right now. Cole Scanlon is getting nominated for this list just off the strength. He dropped back 36 times.
He is getting nominated.
He's absolutely getting nominated.
I'm making sure.
Spoilers. Yo, 25 for 36, 260 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, it's incredible. This is an incredible player. Ezra Josie.
It's quite the combo, man.
11 catches, 130 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Caleb Fisher, shout out to Caleb Fisher, great player. He showed out in that Eagle game as well. 4 receptions, 40 yards, and a touchdown. Did they forget about my boy, poor Tristan Suarez, man?
I don't know. I don't know what's up.
I don't know what's up.
That fumble, by the way, that helped get them that game-winning touchdown by T.O. Boston Freed. Clutch play from him. He also has 6 tackles. So nice performance. Nice performance there, man.
Let's see. Watt Molvena with 11
and Nathaniel Schulman. I believe he has another interception to his name. I think this is his second pick. I think he had an interception last week against Southshore.
Nathaniel Schulman, huh? Oh, okay.
I think this is 2 straight weeks. You know what? I'm going to double check right now. But this is 2 straight weeks with an interception for him.
Wow. Okay.
So he's playing well as of late. And now, we got Port Richmond next week in a game that determines a lot. And I mean a lot.
It's a huge game. I'll actually just skip ahead real quick. I wasn't planning on doing this one next, but since we're on the topic,
let's talk about it, right? I mean,
go ahead, Jared.
Right, because Port Richmond, it looks like they're going with Kasim Cromwell at quarterback.
Is that right?
It really looks like it. In this game, he was playing a lot of QB, and he was running really well, man. Because the thing, Cromwell can throw, but the duo of him and Zimmerman is just so tough to stop. It really is. I want to say they combined for over 300 yards rushing, those two.
Oh my God. Yes, they did.
It was insane how well both of them are playing. And and they both do it on defense too. Kasim Cromwell had 2 tackles for loss and a fumble recovery. Yeah, that's pretty elite. So a lot of credit to Port Richmond. They get the job done against Fort Hamilton, and unfortunately for Fort, that was a game that they were looking to come away with, especially for playoff talk. But Port Richmond, made some plays. 36 points offensively. They get to 3 wins now. So it's like if you could beat Brooklyn Tech, you're in a very good spot if you're Port Richmond.
Yeah, I mean, like we always say, 4 wins get you there.
And they might be able at this rate. Yeah, especially if they win this week. You're looking at probably the 7 seed.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, they have Brooklyn Tech, Abraham Lincoln, DeWitt Clinton. So we'll see where Brooklyn Tech ends up. I mean, Adolphus Zimmerman and, Kasim Cromwell. Shout out to them. I saw them Friday night, actually, at Tottenville. Shout out to those guys, man. That is putting the team on your back.
Yeah,
that is
impressive.
Putting the team on your back, man.
It's quite the duo.
So, the playoff race is heating up. Like I always say, the PSAL in every league is more than just the top 3 teams, 4 teams. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of storylines going on. So that's what we're here for. We're here to highlight them, So Port Richmond and Brooklyn Tech fighting for the playoffs. It's really, really impressive, man. So we're going to keep things moving. I know it's late. Curtis, this 26-12 over JFK. Listen, I just like Jared kind of touched on this earlier. If you ask Andre Johnson who are the top 8 teams in the PSAL, I'm telling you that JFK is in it.
Yeah, they are.
I'm telling you JFK is a top 8 team. I mean, if I'm just looking at this box score, scores 13-6 at halftime. You're right in this ball game. It goes to 21. It goes to 20 to 6. And it ends up, 26-12. So just looking at that just tells you that JFK was in this game from start to finish. Huge shout out. First of all, the first thing I see is to Vinny Canzaneri, 12 for 19, 269 yards and 3 touchdowns. That is an efficient day.
Yeah,
for Vinny Canzaneri. I think he's just been great this year. Of course, just like everyone else, we have to be fair, right? We're out here, putting, saying how Lincoln is judged. We know how Curtis is judged. Against Arasmus Hall, Lincoln, and Tottenville. We're going to talk about the Arasmus Hall game in a bit. But yeah, man, Toriano Lewis, number 8, huge shout out to him. 6 catches, 82 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Mike Van Manen, very underrated player, number 6 for Curtis. Really, really great athlete. Jaden Melendez, he's probably going to find himself on some list. 4 catches for 78 yards. Great game. And a huge shout out to Will Andrade, coming back from injury, looking really, really great. 11 rushes, 107 yards. Broke a big run in this game. Had some runs called back for penalties. Really, really happy to see him looking healthy and running. So Jared, how would you come in on the Curtis side?
Yeah, I mean, listen, going against Kennedy, especially when they have found their groove, it's a dogfight, And Kennedy tested him early. I think they actually scored the first touchdown in that one. It was close at the half too. I think Kennedy I think they had a chance at tying it up. I got to look back. I spoke briefly with both coaches after this one, which was good. Kennedy was in it. They were able to move the ball, but Curtis made plays. Vincent Canzaneri, another 200-plus yard performance passing the ball. And the other thing that I want to say with Curtis, man, that's been a very underrated factor. At first, in the beginning of the season, it's like, all right, it's just Quadair Gomez. They have that second running back now that can make a lot of plays, brings a lot of speed. It's Will Andrade. So you kind of have that combo, something similar to what we saw last season, where you have 2 great running backs. Vin's able to make some plays as a passer. So it gets interesting. And Curtis was able to take a commanding lead in this game. I think it was 26-6 at one point. So it was good stuff from them, man. And yeah, Gomez and Andrade played well, and Toriano Lewis, 2 touchdowns. That's huge. And for Curtis on defense, Daniel Lewis, big interception. And also a big time fumble recovery from Akai Lewis. I heard that was a pretty big important play right there. Jaleel Parnell also 2 tackles for loss. Jarrett Sareed had a tackle for loss. Curtis defense still played well, because if you look at it with JFK, honestly, if you hold Derek Betances to under 100 yards rushing, you did a good job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you did a good job at the end of the day, because he could break him, especially recently. He's been on fire. So.
Yeah, and you know what? This same game at Curtis last year, 43-12, was not competitive.
And I was gonna say, and that one was way different.
You know what I'm saying? And now they get the reverse fixture. It's way more competitive. This JFK team, like I said, if you ask me, I think they're a top 8 team. What do they need to do to get to that 4-win mark? Wagner. You have Wagner. You have Tottenville. You have Southshore. It's do or die every week now. Gotta get a win over Wagner. Gotta figure out how to go to 100 Luton in a place where you played very well in the first half in that quarterfinal last year. You gotta find a way to get a victory. Ooh, that's under the lights too. Okay, that's a big stage for JFK. Interesting. All right. Anyway, and then it's the get back game possibly. It's JFK versus South Shore. So if you want to make these playoffs and prove that you're a top 8 team, you got to run the table.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So yeah, man. So let's keep it moving. You know, again, I know it's late. I think what are there? Two Monday Night Football games on or whatever. South Shore versus Wagner. South Shore now getting their 4th win on the season. Oh God. Oh, they did not update the stats. Well, shout out to Coach Ben.
So they did?
They did not update the stats. But I have.
I was gonna say I got some stuff, but not like rushing yards and stuff. I got like touchdowns and stuff like that.
I should have forwarded it to you, just like freaking E did. So it's crazy. So I'll read them off. George, 12 for 16, 185 yards and 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Adrian Antoine, 4 rushes, 46 yards and a touchdown, 3 receptions, 33 yards and a touchdown. Silas Seeley, number 7, 2 rushes for 56 yards, 5 receptions for 83 yards. Shalik Williams, that's actually number 20, I'm pretty sure. That's the running back I like a lot for them. 7 rushes, 71 yards, and a touchdown. He had 2 fumbles, though. Got to clean that up. Tymir Lewis, that's number 1, 4 receptions for 69 yards and a touchdown. Those are the highlights for them on offense. Defense, Peter Jean Baptiste, 7 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks. And Christian Dennis, 8 tackles. DeAnthony Hanniford, 4 tackles.
There he is.
And 2 interceptions.
That's the game. That we were waiting for some sort of breakout type of game from that guy, from that player. And Hannaford, 2 interceptions. That's big time, man. Especially in a game, I mean, pretty close. Wagner was in it.
Yeah, Wagner also does not have their stats up, so wonderful. But you know, Wagner is a team. You know, I think they've been really, really competitive this season. They have some good wins. You know, they were able to take care of Fort Hamilton. Obviously, I should say obviously, but they took care of Canarsie. I like the quarterback for Susan Wagner. Ali Spencer. I heard this game was competitive for the most part. But South Shore, you know, congratulations. They got to the 4 wins, so we can pencil South Shore in for the playoffs. Second time, 2 years in the top division, 2 playoff appearances. So huge shout out to Coach Ben, Coach Legree, Coach Lyle, all those guys over there at South Shore. But from what I heard, you know, they want to clean up. They want to get better. They want to take the next step with their offense, with the defense. Of course, Adrian Antoine is just tremendous. Carrying, you know, I always had my Adrian Antoine kind of monologue earlier. My guy Darius in the chat with the $1 donation. Really appreciate you, my boy.
Yeah,
it was nice talking with you. Again, you're one of the players for Eagle Queens. I'm really gonna watch how you develop. Really excited to see how you develop through the 7-on-7 season and all that. So shout out to you, my boy. Yeah, so from what I heard from South Shore, you know, got a victory. They want to do better. Jared?
it's a good win for the Shore. But yeah, it's like for a lot of people, and I mean, nothing to take away from them. Actually, you know, I'll start off with something good. The Wildcat for them is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's a good change up. You get Adrian Antoine and Silas the ball, and they do good things. And also, Shalique Williams is great. So it's a good change up. And obviously, George could throw the ball well. So I like that, man. We always knew Southshore. We knew they were going to be creative on offense and stuff. So it's pretty cool to see. They just got to limit those turnovers. Wagner had a pick 6 in that game.
Oh.
And you mentioned that there was fumbles. So it's can't really be turning the ball over like that. That's something huge that can't happen. But it's a good opportunity this week against Fort Hamilton. Southshore's schedule is definitely favorable, but dude, those last 2 games, you're stepping up a little bit in competition. It's gonna be playoff like, and it's gonna be really interesting because the way it looks for the Shore, my guess is they'd be a 6 seed unless they beat Eagle Academy on November 1st. They might be the 5 seed for the playoffs again.
Rematch.
We might get a rematch. Southshore might get to go to Lincoln again. In their eyes, would be a more favorable matchup than having to play in E Hall or Tottenville or Curtis. And then it gets interesting. That game, November 1st, man, means so much for so many reasons. Now playoff seedings are officially going to be a big deal in that game. Damn.
Listen, this Fort Hamilton game, you said it's Fort Hamilton this week, right?
So, yeah, they got to take care of business because Fort Hamilton's playing for their season. But
it's so important for Southshore. You got to put together a really good performance. Really appreciate OB in the chat. Appreciate the super chat. You should be able to type in the super chats. I've got quite a few blank super chats. I don't know. But appreciate you.
Ooh.
Homecoming. Yo, Lyle, we need, you know how you go bam for bam, bottle for bottle in the club? We need to go plate for plate. Southshore versus Sheephead. We need to have the side by side. Who has the best food? Or you see, yo, I know Mac is probably going already. We say we got better plates. But listen, getting back to it, Southshore, it's important this game. They need to really get the kinks out because just like Jared said, you have 2 teams who are trying to hammer you. 2 teams that are trying to bury you in those last 2 games. I don't care if JFK is out of the playoff picture. JFK is waiting to put their hands on Southshore after what Southshore came and did to them last season. Eagle Academy is dying to play Southshore because they want to get their get back. So you go from being the hunter to the hunted. You know what I'm saying? So we'll be there for that game of the week 7. And we'll preview there. We'll preview that game when it comes. I am so excited for that game. I think that Southshore is going to really have something. They're going to come in as the underdogs a bit. But I really think Southshore is going to have something for us that game. So I can't wait to preview.
Yeah, that's a good one. Damn, I gotta go to that one.
Speaking about that Eagle Academy team, Eagle Academy 54-0 over Canarsie.
Yeah.
So what I really want to do here, I know it is late, so we're not going to stay on this too long. Because listen, man, Jared about to apply for, because he's going to go to HR, man. Go to Sage Media HR. I'll be like, yo, this dude tripping, man. Look how long this dude got me working for him.
I'm gonna file a formal complaint.
Eagle Academy.
I'm gonna write an email actually.
You know what? I literally want to just skip over this because Eagle didn't upload their stats. So
yeah, I mean, I'll say something real quick and then we'll get out of this game. Martin and Aaron, I think 2 touchdowns each. Josiah Brown and CJ McCracken connected on a wide receiver pass thing for a touchdown. Zaire Schulters, 80-yard touchdown. Yeah, I think Sincere Hester had a touchdown or a fumble recovery. I just know he had a really good game. And he had a great game. But listen, Eagle won. They took care of business. There's really not much else to say on this game. I'm ready to move on, Dre.
Yeah, what we do need to move on to is this monster matchup on Friday, live on Sage Media, Eagle Academy versus Tottenville. That is the one. Just if you want to play some mental football, like how do you see that game just like on paper?
But you said Eagle. Sorry, you cut out. What?
Oh, sorry, Eagle Tottenville.
Oh, what do you set the over under for that game? Because there might be a lot of points.
We don't promote betting on this application.
We do not.
On this platform. But yeah, it would yeah.
A lot. We'll just go with that.
A lot.
I like that. It's good, man. I think Eagle's gonna score. I'm not sure how Tottenville's defensive backs are gonna match up with Eagles wide receivers. I really don't know. I think Jesus. I think Eagles gonna do great things offensively, but the problem is Eagles gonna score. Tottenville's just gonna score a lot. Can Eagle actually stop Tottenville's run attack, man? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing for
dude. They couldn't stop Kennedy's, and listen.
I was just about to say, let me go see how many rushing yards Kennedy had that day.
Yeah, like that's the problem, dude. And it's like, oh, like they made defensive adjustments, and I get that. But Lehigh is a passing team. We talked about this after the game happened. It played into the strengths of the Eagle defense. It just did. Lehigh's not a ground and pound team. Now you're going against Tyshawn Bent and Corey Brown, so it gets interesting. So I don't know. I'm just worried about how each team gets stops. And yeah, I think it could be a track meet. But, I think it's just interesting, man. This game could go in a few different directions.
318 yards
a lot of
for JFK in that game, rushing.
It's a lot of yards, yeah.
So it just as Friday night wasn't the Tyshawn or Corey night. This game, this is more like it for them, So it's going to be a huge, huge challenge for Eagle Academy. Definitely come in as the underdogs here, but it will be live on Sage Media. So make sure you guys tune in on Friday.
I'm pumped for that one. That'll be good.
Last game to cover. Arasmus Hall 45-14 over DeWitt Clinton. Jared, anything on this one?
Shout out to E-Hall. Tommy Zay, over 100 yards, threw a couple touchdowns. He was good. Justice Murray, Jay Solomon, both nice performances. I think Amir and Jair both gone to the end zone. E-Hall did their thing, man. Brandon Garcia had a good game. And I don't know. Apparently, Clinton actually, like in the beginning, they were close to making some plays where it was gonna get interesting. Apparently they were like inches away from some big time execution where they would have jumped on E-Hall a little bit, but they didn't quite make the play. And then Arasmus Hall got the ball and they did their thing. But yeah, it's a good win for E-Hall. And now you got Curtis. So
just a huge shout out to Coach Appleby of DeWitt Clinton. It's always kind of tough, when you're a little outmanned, outmatched in a lot of your matchups. But this team is playing hard. They're playing hard as hell. They're competing. So huge shout out to them.
Yeah.
He's definitely coaches. And just like you said, heard that it was competitive and opening up that game. So huge shout out to them. All right, guys.
Wow, I've been waiting for this one, man.
The big one. Rematch of the PSAL 4A championship from 2024. Arasmus Hall versus.
They're already talking about the get back.
The
get back.
Them boys say, yo, we here. We know y'all late today. Y'all talking about food for 30 minutes, but we still here. I love it.
We were.
Um,
Dude, does Curtis win back-to-back games as Sid Luckman? Do they beat E-Hall for a third straight time? Oh, man.
so if you don't mind, I just want to start real
Oh,
quick.
you
And
go. Yeah, 100%.
is a lot of people have been asking, what do you think about the PSAL 4A? Who do you think are favorites? Who do you think can go to the championship and win it? Uh, Ego filed for worker compensation. That's what's happening right now. That's what you're not hearing. And every time people ask me this, I say, I'm like, yo, I'm sorry to be a politician, even though I'm a politician now. Like, I can't answer this question because the Curtis matchup is so unique to playing E-Hall and playing Tottenville, if that makes sense. Like, let's say this, right? We watched Eagle Academy play Arasmus Hall, and now they're going to play Tottenville. I feel like I can look at those games and be like, okay, I can kind of guess how the Tottenville game is going to go just if I base it off E-Hall, right? If Eagle was going to play Curtis, I'm like, listen, it's a completely different matchup.
Totally, yeah.
Because of how much pressure Curtis brings into the line of scrimmage. So it really, really comes down to first of all, the health of Amir Morrow, if he's gonna go.
That's huge. Is he gonna be a workhorse? He hasn't been a workhorse for honestly any game, right?
Yeah,
or at least like PSAL wise.
We saw him in the Eagle game, right? So we got to see where his health is.
He only had like 8 carries though, 6-8 carries, something like that.
Yeah, this is a really physical game. So I think one of the benefits for E-Hall in this matchup, like regardless of the health of Amir, is of course the resurgence of Jair Lewis, excuse me.
Yeah, he's a star.
It's almost like I don't want to call it like a thunder and lightning because I don't think Amir's really thunder, but it's a really good pairing in the backfield. But I honestly have to look at Mr. Kendu Brown. I think this game is so important for Kendu to be able to get the ball to his playmakers under pressure. That's going to be the biggest difference in this game versus the Tottenville matchup. This is why I'm saying I can't tell you who I think is going to win because this matchup is so unique. There's going to be so much pressure in Kendu's face. Now, all that doesn't mean they're going to fail. I'm just saying there's going to be pressure in your face. There's plenty of kinks in the Curtis armor, let's say, right? You can get at this defense. If they're bringing 7, they only have 4 to cover. So if you could deliver the ball to your playmakers, we talk about the best athletes in New York City, Justice Murray. I was gonna say, man, the ball. Just get this young brother the ball.
Took the words out of my mouth. Let Justice spin. I'm waiting to see him just like, yeah. And I mean, I've seen it obviously, but I'm waiting for E-Hall to really just feed him and let him loose.
Yeah, get him the ball. Nair Jackson, oh Lord, I didn't even see his numbers from the Eagle game. 5 catches, 189 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Just get these playmakers the ball and let's see what happens. If we flip it, actually, so I'll let you go, Jared. Like just from the E-Hall offensive side of this, how do you see this one?
Dude, their offense is really good. Like actually, I was so impressed against Tottenville, and we say it if they make 2, less mistakes, they have 49 points on the board. You know what I mean? They should have had 2 more touchdowns that game. There's just a fumble and obviously the spike against Tottenville. And I think what's so scary is how balanced they could be. Is Victor back, by the way? because
let me know. I haven't seen anything on Instagram. I haven't heard anything about Victor. So
that would be a big deal. E-Hall didn't put in their stats against Clinton. Actually, I think I have them, but I'll check that another time. Victor, you look at this receiving corps, and because they're just Nair's really developing. Jace has had some really good moments, and you have Justice Murray, and then you have Victor. Just a lot of talent in that receiving corps, and then you have Amir, who I think is going to get a bunch of carries this game. I think they're really going to let him go. E-Hall has been waiting for this moment for Curtis to come back to Sid Luckman. And you have, Lewis and Morrow, who are both studs, and Ken could run the ball too. Let's not forget that. He showed it against Tottenville, man. He has some wheels to him. So it's like, I just think there's so many weapons across the board. Coach Wheeler, he's a great coach. Same with Coach Landberg. I think E-Hall is going to do well, but they're going against Curtis defense. It's the best defense that they've seen. So it gets interesting because I think it goes both ways. Where it's like, all right, well, this is the best offense Curtis has seen so far. Who's going to make those plays? It also comes down to like some of the unsung guys, maybe like a third or fourth linebacker for Curtis who can make some big plays. Where it's like, man, like this guy really stepped up, or like a third or fourth receiver. And then we haven't even mentioned how's the offensive line for E-Hall gonna stack up against Jalil Parnell, Jarrett Sarit, those guys from Curtis who are incredible, who have shown that they could take over games. We haven't even talked about that whole part of it. So it gets really interesting, man. And it's a wait and see, honestly.
Listen, and now if I flip the script and go on to the Curtis side of it, the Curtis offense versus the Arasmus Hall defense. Listen, if Deli's still in the chat, I don't know, but I have been talking about this E-Hall linebacking core since the beginning of the year. Deli, Brandon Garcia, Nasir Brown, and I'm missing one, aren't I? Oh God, off the top of my head, it's late, y'all. But
it is late.
I got 3 out of the 4 at least off the top of my head. I know I'm missing.
Yeah, and dude, they're all really good players.
Me.
Did you say Brandon Garcia?
I said Brandon Garcia. Yeah, I think I'm missing one. But
it's late. It's fine. We got to pass.
Yeah. You guys have to dominate this game. Quadair Gomez and Will Andrade are very good play. That's really some thunder and lightning.
That is, dude. Yeah.
You guys have to dominate this game. When you guys take your read steps and it's a pass, you have to have your head on a swivel, see where the pass is, and get there like your life depends on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys have to be excellent in this game. You guys are arguably the best unit in the entire PSAL. So that's the unit I'm looking at to dominate this game for Arasmus Hall. And if we're honest, they did a pretty damn good job last year, right? Just fell a little short in the first matchup, and you got to play, just like Jared was saying, you got to play fundamental execution heavy football on defense. You can't have broken coverages. You have to play clean. You have
a lot of
maybe,
please.
You have maybe each side might have one mistake. You might be allowed one mistake in this kind of game. That is how on the knife's edge a matchup like this is. And then that man on the right side of the graphic in the white jersey, the Iceman.
The Iceman.
Vinny Canzaneri, you have to see that man again. That man is 2-0 against y'all. Chip win. Streak breaker.
Ooh.
That's what you got to deal with. This
Yeah,
man,
bro. Kid's clutch.
and he had a great game against JFK. If the game is close, you know he will not be nervous in this ball game. You have to play all 48 minutes of this game if you want to beat this Curtis team. Because if they're in it, Gamble will have the confidence that he has the guy that can deliver the play when he needs it. Jaden Melendez, Toriano Lewis have been great. Mike Van Manen, sorry, kid. I will figure out how to say that name. But Mike, number
Van Manen,
yeah, is a great receiver. And emotions are gonna be high in this game, and Vinny is going to be chilling. You know what I'm saying? You guys are gonna be. Jarrett will be talking mess before the game. I'm sure Deli will be talking crazy. Everybody will be talking crazy. This is the get back. Finally, I've been waiting.
Oh man.
And Vinny will be sitting there like,
just waiting. Yeah.
all right. You know, like that's the kind of player the Iceman is. So, Jared, Curtis offense, E-Hall defense.
All right. E-Hall. So it's Curtis. Everyone obviously loves talking about the Curtis defense. You know, Curtis's offense hasn't put up crazy amount of points. But listen, they're going against E-Hall. I think they're gonna show stuff that's obviously like different. They're gonna show stuff that's different. And Jaden Melendez is gonna be a guy to watch. Will E-Hall's DBs be able to stop Jaden Melendez? It'll be very interesting because Melendez has ability to like take over games. He's a playmaker. Curtis is going to want to get the ball in that guy's hands, and they're going to find creative ways to do it. Because the crazy thing is, it's not like you technically can't. It's not like you can say like you're going to save some stuff for the postseason, obviously, but you can't save everything because this game means so much for seeding. You want to avoid that 2-3. So it's like I think they're gonna.
Excuse me, Zaire Walden. That is number 34. Zebo.
There it is. Yeah. That's good stuff.
Ellie, clip it. I remembered late. Zebo.
Yes, sir.
Sorry. Go ahead. I didn't look at my phone either. Y'all saw me. I was looking at the camera.
He was. Yeah, I was gonna say you were. Yeah. And then it gets interesting, right? Because Curtis, listen, their schedule, I wouldn't say it's been easy. I'd say it's been favorable as of late, not having to play a ton of the top teams recently. So their new offensive line has been good. But we remembered back to that Lincoln game, Dre, I don't think they dominated much up front.
No.
Not at all. So they didn't really control the line of scrimmage there. And then they've played teams, good football teams they've played, but not to the caliber of that E-Hall front. I'll tell you that. So how are you going to do against this Arasmus defensive line? Are you going to be able to get that same push? Last year they were. Completely new offensive line this year. Or are they still going to be able to get that push up front and create lanes for Andrade and Gomez? That's kind of what I want to see, because if they can't and they can't establish the run, it gets interesting. It gets very, very interesting. So it's a big one right there.
Listen, Jared, where's my mouse? I think we gave the city a lot tonight, man. 3-hour show. I think this is a new record.
This might be, man.
Oh! Thank you, Mr. Hidalgo. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
No, he said SIBO. Like I finally remembered.
Oh,
I need your help earlier. Man, it's just what a weekend of football. Things are really, really playing out. I mean, this is technically, I know Halloween falls on a Friday, but I can just say this is the last real weekend in October for football, and then we're in November, boys.
That's
Then
crazy.
we are in November. It's winning time now. It's repping time. Shout out to Jim Jones. You see the two boys on the top of this graphic, Jared Surrett, Amir Morrow. Head to head time, man. Get back time, everything you want to say. All the hashtags in the world go out the window. It's time to play football. One of the premier matchups in the tri-state area, Arasmus Hall versus Curtis. It's going to be live on Sage Media. Again, we're working on having that game be open to the public. But as of now, this is going to be a member-only stream. So, I'll put it in the chat one more time. If there ever was a time to become a member,
it's now, man.
It's now. It's now, man. So, Jared, final words, man.
Man, for this weekend especially, buckle up, man, and get ready. Sage Media, two of the best games, period, this weekend. I'll say it. And you want to talk about entertainment, dude? Tottenville Eagle might be one of the most entertaining football games of the season.
Yeah.
Just if you like offense. And then you got the championship rematch to get back. Curtis, can they stay undefeated? Dude, it's going to be insane. It is going to be insane.
Listen, guys, really appreciate. I think there is still, 38 people in the chat. I saw 41 before. You guys stuck with us the whole time through the Monday Night Football games and all that. Really, really appreciate you guys. Again, that food segment, I regret nothing. That was hysterical. I was crying real tears during that. Y'all are really some haters, so that was a good play. I enjoyed myself. So we going plate for plate. Southshore versus the Sharks next week. So make sure you guys stay tuned in, man. Shout out to Monsenior Farrell. That seems like 8 years ago we talked about Monsenior Farrell. Shout out to Monsenior Farrell. Huge win for New York City. Huge win for the Catholic League and all that. So we're out of here. See you guys next Monday to break down everything.